Welcome back to News in Focus. Now, the South African Weather Service said that more rain and damaging waves are on the cards with a potential of flooding and mudslides. There's also been a warning of another cold front that could be occurring within the Western Cape, adding to the possibility of more of the same weather patterns that have been there for the last 2 to 3 days. Joining us now, I'd like to welcome from the South African Weather Service, a forecaster. It is Celeste Fourie. Celeste, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on News in Focus on Hilaal TV.
Hi, good day. No, it's a big pleasure to be on your show.
No, the pleasure is ours. Celeste, so this morning I decided to be a brave and I'd like to also add a very silly soul. I decided to go to the gym at 4 a.m. this morning and then I saw my car reading -3 degrees. I just want to ask, how did this happen for us in the inland part of South Africa for here to be really this absolutely cold weather?
Yeah, so as most of the South Africans have realized, the past few days we did have a very intense cold front that pushed all the way into the inland parts of South Africa and even affecting the Gauteng side. So generally in winter, cold fronts only affect the southern parts of the country. So that would be the Western Cape mostly and the Eastern Cape side. And if it's quite a strong one, it really would push all the way into the KZN side. But this one that we experienced the past few days have been quite a significant one and possibly one even for the records. Um, yeah, so because this one was pushed so far north, we experienced quite a lot of snowfall and even storm surge, as you did mention, with the mudslides and everything possible. So the Western Cape has been made very vulnerable with these heavy rains and persistent rainfalls even. Together with the snowfall that they have experienced. So, yeah, and unfortunately for them, the series of cold fronts have not yet ended. So we are still expecting one to make landfall later on in this week.
Mm.
Today, again, a cold front made landfall there. So the Western Cape is not out of the books yet. But for us here in the interior and northeastern parts of the country, are expecting a rapid um, a rapid
It's going to be cold, Celeste.
warming.
Yeah, yeah. I think we can, I think we can
No,
definitely put it there. Yes.
it's going to be cold, but we are expecting a rapid warming in the temperatures for the
Okay.
northeastern parts. So it's not going to be as cold yet, but the mornings are still going to be quite
Mm.
nippy.
Celeste, we just had now pictures that were taken from various citizens within the country. Stellenbosch, there was snow that was occurring there. I got told that parts of some of the mountains within the Western Cape area, even leading up to the Southern Cape side, there's snow that is occurring there. Last year we had snow here in the inland parts, especially here in Gauteng. Is that something that was expected, or is it just, one of those ones where you're going to see maybe once every 2, 3, or even 4 years?
Yeah, so snowfall in the Western and Eastern Cape, we did have special warnings out for them. But as you mentioned, the snow reaching us here in the inland side and especially in Gauteng uh, is a rare event,
Mm.
like you mentioned, for maybe 1 to 2 years. But July has only started yet, so the possibility of snowfall still occurring with another intense cold front maybe later on in the month is quite possible that we can expect some light snow dusting us in Gauteng again.
Celeste, this cold front that's coming from to the Western Cape, the next cold front that is coming to the Western Cape, I mean, is it going to bring with it the severe storms that we've been seeing? Because obviously it makes the life very challenging for disaster management in those areas. So, is there, from your forecast and what you are reading, is there a possibility that the cold front comes with the storms and the wet weather?
Um, so the current, so our main concern with regards to these cold fronts that are now still approaching the Western Cape is the disruptive rainfall and then the strong winds associated with this front. So in the next coming days, we are still expecting quite strong winds over the interior. And then because of the previous rainfall that has occurred, any more rainfall over the region is expected to cause quite sorry to cause quite significant impact on the neighborhoods there. So previously vulnerable areas that have been strongly affected will only be continuously affected by the rainfall. So we are very closely monitoring the Western Cape, the side there. And as you mentioned, we do have quite high levels of alerts going out there because of the persistent bad weather that they are experiencing.
Celeste, so we've got this cold front coming into the Western Cape, generally here in Gauteng. A lot of the cold weather comes from KwaZulu-Natal or even the Drakensberg side. What are the chances that uh, we in Gauteng could have another cold snap like what we've experienced, today and yesterday? I asked this because I've looked at the weather forecast and it says that we could be reaching the 19s and 20s in terms of maximum temperatures. Any chance that could be a drop in temperature in the coming days?
Well, for the coming days, we are expecting every day to be a little bit warmer than the
Mm.
previous day. But as you have shown our images earlier on that the snow there along the Cape side or the Cape provinces, and we've also have snow in the Lesotho borders. So once that snow starts to melt, and then when we have specific wind patterns, that cold air from the melting snow can be pushed into the Gauteng side. So our maximum temperatures that won't be as affected, but we will feel a nice cool wind coming through as soon as that snow starts to melt.
Hmm. So let's talk to us about the yellow levels. I mean, anyone that's probably, not at, on the level of yourself as a meteorologist, as a forecaster, and they want to understand what the yellow levels mean. So talk to us about the lowest yellow levels and the highest yellow levels, especially in areas where this is of concern for them.
Yes, so I understand that the levels that we issue can be quite confusing to the public. This impact-based warning system that we have is specifically targeted for our disaster management, that they know that if we issue a specific level, that they know which action plans to put in place based on the levels. But since you're specifically asking about the yellow levels, our lowest levels that we can issue is a level 1 and a level 2 yellow warning. So a level 1 would be a medium likelihood of minor impacts. So that would mean we are fairly confident that there's going to be some impacts, but it won't be as severe um, as um, as we are expected. And a yellow level 2 would mean we have a very strong confidence that there are going to be some minor impacts. And then as we go into the higher yellow level, so a level 3, 4, or 7, that means we have not as strong confidence that there's going to be significant or even severe impacts. So I always tell everyone that I speak to please consult our the South African Weather Service homepage, where we have this impact-based matrix that specifically display the all our alert levels based on the likelihood versus the impact that we are expecting. And as soon as you understand that, have a clear understanding of that matrix, understanding our weather alerts would be much easier.
Celeste, thank you so much for joining us here on Using Focus on Hilaal TV. Much appreciated.
It's a big pleasure. Have a wonderful day.
You have a wonderful day. Also, stay safe. That's Celeste Fourie, a forecaster at the South African Weather Service. Yeah, don't throw away your wood or coal, whatever it is you use for your fireplace or even your heater, yeah, things are going to get even much more colder than what it is at this moment. But do stay safe wherever you are. And of course, think about the less fortunate who, of course, do not have many other privileges that, you know, some South Africans would have, because there's many that are suffering from inequality that will not have those privileges. So let's think about them, and whatever difference you can make, let's make that difference. That's all we have for you here on News in Focus. For myself, for Patel, the rest of the team in Johannesburg. We'll see you again on Thursday, because tomorrow is Talking Point. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.